Welcome back to the DRIPBaR Edina Lounge for episode 2 of IV Interviews, where we talk everything health and wellness in the Twin Cities community. I'm your host, Shea Butta. Today's guest, we have one of the top foodie influencers in the Twin Cities, Rachael Myers. Rachael, how are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Excited to be here.
Excited to be here. This is Rachael's first IV. So before we get into her foodie career, a little bit about the health and wellness journey that she's on, and some of the behind the scenes of the lifestyle of foodie, we're going to get into a little bit about what we're hooked up to and the nutrients that are going into our body now as we make this health deposit here at the Edina DRIPBaR Lounge. So with Rachael being a foodie, we hooked her up with the metabolized bag, which is going to help her get amino acids, vitamin C, B12, along with other nutrients. That's going to help regulate her bloodstream, help her get a metabolized boost to help her digest all those foods that she's going out and trying that is so delicious in the Twin Cities. For myself, I have the Jet Setter bag. Now I'm going on a little trip for spring break to have some fun, to get in the sun. So this is going to help me get an energy boost, give my immune system a boost as well, so I'm not getting sick and I have the energy to enjoy that vacation as much as I can and avoid that jet lag, and that's why we call it Jet Setter. So that's what we're hooked up today. That's what we're hooked up to here today. And we're going to get into a little bit more about Rachael's start as a foodie, her health journey, and some of the things behind the scenes. So Rachael, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about how you got into being a foodie, and then maybe a little bit about what the weekly life of a foodie looks like. Because a lot of people probably don't understand the time commitment and the management of everything that you do behind the scenes.
Yeah. So how I started was kind of by accident. I didn't mean to really, but at the time I was on Instagram like regularly, and I had moved to Minnesota. I'm from central Wisconsin. It's pretty much like diners, like supper clubs, chain restaurants, like
Culver's.
Yeah. Yes. All the Culvers. And so it just wasn't a lot of like different kinds of cuisines. So when I moved to Minnesota, especially into Minneapolis, I started trying all the different stuff, and I just made the page to show my family all the different things I was trying, because they love food and it's exciting. And I didn't know there was like a foodie world out there with the pages. And all of a sudden I started having followers, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. And they weren't great pictures by any means. And it was kind of just the photo time of Instagram, but they were pretty dark. If you were to go back and look at them, they're not great. But I started doing that. And then when 2020 hit, TikTok for me was huge. And that's just kind of going to restaurants that were all like shut down, picking up food and showing the stuff at the time just kind of like blew up. And that's where really it changed for me and being part of my everyday life.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I feel like a lot of the foodies that I talked to, it almost wasn't an intention, but it was such a passion of, a lot of people don't understand the food scene in the Twin Cities, right? Like it's a very, you use hidden gems so much, but I think as a city, the Twin Cities has so much to offer as far as diversity in food, quality of food.
Absolutely.
It's been a lot of fun getting to know the area for food. And, you know, I've gone out with some of the foodies and I see how much you almost have to indulge when you're there.
Yeah.
You know, so you've been doing this for, it sounds like 5, 6, 7 years now, if not longer.
Yeah, 2017 was when I started on Instagram, so it's been a while.
So we're coming up on a decade of being a foodie.
Holy cow!
Yeah, did you just realize
yes.
that's?
Yeah, it was like February 2017, so it was crazy.
Yeah, and as I've gone out with foodies though, and I sit there and I consume that amount of food, it is tough to probably do on a regular basis. Like a lot of people see the posts.
Yes.
You're sitting down, there's so many samples. You want to make sure that you're doing the restaurant justice on who they are and showing that stuff. You know, what have been the challenges of being a foodie? That everyone sees the fun side of it, you know, the perks of being a foodie. For someone who maybe wants to start, what's kind of the other side of it that gets tough with the organization, with, you know, trying to, you know, focus maybe on nutrients and even making healthy choices when you're at those restaurants? Quick break from the show to bring you today's drip tip. You don't always have to get an IV bag when you come in. One of my favorite things to get is vitamin shots. I just got the B12, which is helping me regain energy throughout the week, skipping my morning coffee. Starting at $25.
This advertisement was brought to you by the DRIPBaR.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard, and it's not ever going to be easy if you're doing it on a regular basis. to always make the right decisions, especially when sometimes the restaurants want you to try certain things or feature certain things.
Right.
So I think for me, it was how to change that was balancing how often I was going. Where in the beginning, actually for many and many years, it was every single day, sometimes multiple times a day.
And that's like, I don't eat out very much anymore, right? Like I cook so much. So even if I go out and eat out a couple times a week, like that's a lot for me, right? Like I'm just at home cooking so much. But I mean, it's probably fun sometimes to go out twice, like try a cafe and then go to a dinner that night. But it gets to be a lot, right? And so now I've seen kind of this pivot from you where I think what I admire is that your food passion and doing the account, but also now this newfound health journey that you're on, you were able to find a way to do both, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of times you don't see the balance, and that's what we want to preach on this show is the balance of life, right? Like you can still go out to eat, you can still have the cocktail, but maybe sometimes mix in the mocktail when you go out or mix in the healthier option, and that side of it. So tell us a little bit more about what inspired you. You know, you've been a foodie for almost a decade now, and we've seen this turn. I think you look a lot healthier than when I first met you a couple months ago. It seems like you've been consistent in the gym all the time.
Yes.
So hats off to you for finding this balance between this industry, but also your personal goals of taking care of your health and how important that is. So tell us a little bit more about what inspired you now to take this turn to care a little bit more about your health and have that balance between the two.
Absolutely. So a couple of years ago is actually when it started, and I started feeling it a lot. And I started looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm being like, not super happy, I guess, with myself, knowing that I just like, you know, I always was really disciplined because I used to be a gymnast. So I had a lot of discipline, and it disappeared because I am a yes person. And I like to say yes. So I was going to everything and saying yes.
Of you.
Yeah. And I was going everywhere and doing something every day, or meeting up with friends that wanted to do the same thing and going to their things, and just like constantly always eating out. And when you're doing it, you're also drinking. It's like 3 times, like in 2 or 3 drinks, and then food, and then dessert and appetizers. And so it ends up being a lot when you're doing it every single day. So my first thing that I did was also for my anxiety, cut alcohol. And so a couple of years ago, I started doing dry January, but I loved it. And so I started being 3 months. Last year, I did 7 months. This year, today is day 75 for me, and tomorrow I will be drinking. So, but it's just, that helped a lot first. And picking mocktails, picking different things was easier because not everybody else is looking in your video for what to drink. They're looking for the food. Unless you're going to a cocktail bar or something of that, you know.
And I think the alcohol industry is fading more and more as people like you and I are either claiming their health or going back to more of a balanced life or just cutting back on it. I think so much more people, I work with some of the alcohol reps on events, right? And some of the reps are being let go because not enough people are drinking alcohol in the Twin Cities, which is too bad for the job's sake. But I'm almost proud of this area because it's been such a struggle for people drinking here. To see this area be like, hey, you know what, we're going to care about our health. That's part of the reason of starting the show, is showing this community of the Twin Cities a better path and a better life. And I think you're a great example of that. And for people who have never seen gymnast practice or what all goes into that, when you say discipline, I'd say some of the hardest discipline sports are probably wrestling, gymnastics, and swimming as far as time commitment, skill. And I was a college athlete myself. And even when I'm in good shape, I still kind of look at myself sometimes. I'm like, I'm not very happy with this, you know? So it's been awesome to see kind of your journey and your pivot. Tell us what we're going to see from you over this next year as far as fitness content, then balanced with some of the food content. Is that going to get mixed in a lot more now?
Yes, absolutely. My content will change, and I'm definitely kind of trying to figure it out as I go. I am not doing as many restaurants and right now, as for the first 75 days, I've been eating on a different diet, drinking the gallon of water, doing all the fun activities of working out. So I have not really gone out for the past 75 days. I've done very few restaurants and have picked more experiences to do instead that I've been posting. I had planned to go in this year posting a lot about my fitness and being like day in the life, those kind of things. Minneapolis as a whole changed the environment, and I just really didn't want, it wasn't a time to be about me.
Right.
So
Right.
I changed that content with that and just really didn't post as much at all, either about myself or anything. But
Right.
I do want to shift it over and make it more about experiences. I want to share my like workout journey and what I'm doing, eating at home on a regular basis,
Right.
and then the different decisions that I will be making when I'm going to restaurants now,
Yeah.
and just being like, I want to eat more like a regular person.
Right.
And I know, you know what I mean? Maybe that people
Yeah.
want to see all the fun food and all the things, but I think that there are a lot of people that do want to eat normal.
Right. Right.
Like,
And this isn't to say that you don't appreciate being in the industry. Obviously, you love being able to visit
yes.
all these restaurants, but there is a personal side of it. And I see some of the foodies almost go so far down that route that they
Yeah.
just never bring their head above water. So I do have a question for you about kind of nutrients. How hard, during that time of really pushing being a foodie, how hard was it to get proper nutrients in? Did you feel like you were able to still get enough nutrients to feel good, to get good sleep, support
No.
muscle growth, things like that?
No, I mean, and that's why I was like, when I first cut out alcohol, I started feeling better. But
Right.
even after, and that's why I've cut down. First, my foodie stuff changed to being like doing like 2 or 3 times a week, where I was doing it every day, to doing, a couple times now
Yeah.
a month or whatever, because I was tired. I wasn't getting the sleep that I needed.
Right.
And even if I was working out, because I was going to the gym and doing things, but it just still didn't matter when you're putting the amount of calories in your body that I was,
Yeah.
and the food decisions that I was making.
Right. Right. And that's part of the reason why I loved partnering with the Drip Bar is even like I eat home a lot. I still feel like it's hard to get daily nutrients. So to have like an extra perk like this where you can get the 99% absorption, it'd be interesting to see if people in the foodie industry or that, even for sales reps, they're going out and eating out and taking clients out so often that
Right.
they're not home for dinner a lot, they're out to eat a lot. It'd be interesting to see, do you think something like this would be beneficial to be able to get more nutrients in your system, especially in an industry like that where you do have to eat out a lot, not just a food influencer?
Yeah, or even the people working in the restaurant industry, like servers, bartenders, like they're just constantly going and working so hard, and you get the moment to eat. I grew up in with a restaurant family. My dad
Yeah.
had a restaurant, and he was always gone. And
Right.
I'd be like, "What'd you eat for lunch?" He'd be like, "Chips and salsa," and I'm like,
Right.
"So yeah, absolutely, yeah."
When I remember working as a bar back, and the amount of greasy, I gained 15 pounds in a matter of a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's in front of you, right?
Yeah.
And when it's in front of you, you're going to eat it. So you get out of control a little quickly. And I guess that's a good point. Even the workers, right?
Yeah.
Like they're in there, they're surrounded by it every day. So it's a good way for them to, even if they're not able to get the right diet, to come and supplement and get some of those more nutrients. So tell us a little bit more in the foodie industry. Have you had any kind of crazy experiences that you can share with us, or anything that's happened during that time?
I'm trying to think now.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm
Yeah.
probably, but I
Over the
can't
last decade?
think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That
Has there been like
super
any
crazy.
top foods that have stood out to you that have kind of withstood the test of time of your reviews, where they're still some of your go-to spots even from the start?
Ooh, that's a great question. I was like, so many. It's hard because from the start, so much has changed in the city. It's from 2020 and now,
Right.
where so many restaurants have closed and changed. That's such a hard question for me to ask and think about. I'm gonna have to get back to you
Yeah.
on that one, probably.
It is tough. There has been a lot of new spots cycled in and cycled out. It's been cool to see. I see a lot more healthier options though popping
Yeah.
up in the Twin Cities now. Have you had a chance to review some of the healthier options, or is there go-to spots as far as like health and wellness goes that you've really
That's on
leaned
my
in?
bucket list now that
Right.
my journey has changed, and that was something that I wanted to include in my stuff
Right.
as I was starting this year, but I
Right.
haven't, as I didn't do as much content, but I hope to do more of
Right.
showing that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, where can they follow you on Instagram? And I think you do TikTok as well.
Yep.
It's even when you start posting that, so they can follow your journey.
Eat Minnesota, full word, Eat Minnesota.
It's nice and simple. And you're based here, obviously, in the Twin Cities. Is there any spots that you can share that's coming up next that are going to be coming out on your account anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at my account, one of my favorite places to go to is El Saison. And I love
the
their
gas station.
yeah. Okay, the gas station is one, but they
Yeah.
also have a restaurant in South Minneapolis. That's
Right.
probably like my favorite place to go to. The gas station is such a special experience.
Right.
And if you get the opportunity to do it, because it goes very quickly, say yes, go and sign up for it. They just put it on, I think, Instagram and Facebook. They put it out and
Right.
it goes quickly. But it is one of the most cool and unique coursed out experiences in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. And I love it every time.
Ralph told me about, I grew up in Egan. I didn't even know that it was in the gas station in
Yeah.
Egan. So that was the first time that I went, and I was like, how did I not know
It's
that this
there.
existed right here in a gas station? Yeah.
Oh.
So that was,
It's fantastic.
oh, it's so good. It's so unassuming when you walk in. You're just like, no way is this place going to be good. And it's some of the best food that I've had
Yeah. I
in
do
the Twin
think
Cities.
you can go anytime, not just the coursed out. I was like, they have
Right.
the fine dining experience, but then
Right.
they always have food, which is always really good. And then they have a similar location, I think, in Eat Street that is the same for that.
So what does it look like for you eating at home then? Is it quick meals? Is it meal prepped?
Yeah.
Is it simple? Take us through what a foodie eats when you don't have to be on the go.
I'm counting calories. So it is
There you go.
very simple.
Yeah.
I am doing chicken, broccoli, and
Right.
instead of rice, I'm doing riced hearts of palm.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 30 calories
Yeah.
for like
I
a
just
cup.
found out about what that was this year.
Yeah.
Hearts of palm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a good carb replacement. If you don't want to
Yeah.
have a high carb diet, it's a very good replacement for you to still get that full feeling and kind of like you're eating
Right.
a carb side
Mhm.
with your food. So and it's low calorie too,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah. It's like 30 calories for a cup or something like that. It's not bad at all.
So when you're counting calories and you're
Yes.
going to order at a restaurant, then are you pre-counting like what those calories are going to be?
I'm trying to, and
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to do it. So
Right.
I've done some, like, that's why I'm kind of very particular about what I've been picking as
Yeah.
well. Or if I do a restaurant, I'm eating very little in the day and
Right.
saving it all for the dinner time when I'm going or whatever time I'm going.
Right.
As of right now that I've been going through the calorie counting time. But
It's
yeah.
almost like a mini fast leading up to a bigger
Yep.
meal at the end of the day, which sometimes I do an accident and like I feel really good today and I don't know why yet. And I've been
Yeah.
fasting for 18 hours on accident. But like that's so I've counted calories before.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
I love it.
You love it? For me,
Yeah.
it was stressful because then all of a sudden you get to the crunch at the end of the day and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah, I'm like protein bar,
yeah.
protein crackers. What do I have? Like I have a
Something-
snack section in my apartment that's like things that hit it. And I don't realize, like, before obviously it was so easy because I was going
Right.
to the restaurants, but when you're actually having like normal meals, how hard it is to hit your calories.
Oh,
I'm like crazy.
and then when you're trying to hit like a protein goal too.
Yeah.
And what I like about counting protein the most, I feel like I feel really full when I'm hitting my protein goal.
Yeah.
And then I don't worry about the calorie count as much. But if you're not hitting high protein in the morning, it gets very tough then throughout the rest of the
Yeah.
day to be like, I need to stay within this calorie bound. So it's just interesting to hear about kind of the behind the scenes of a foodie, because I didn't hang out with a lot of foodies until the last probably 6 months and
Yeah.
seeing what that's all entailed and what the process is. And even to the video, do you do your own videos then? Do you have an
Yeah.
editor or?
No, I do all of my own. That's something that I've always loved. Like I did gymnastics and I would
Yeah.
make my own of me. And then I coached gymnastics
Yeah.
until I was like 26. And I used to edit videos for my gym and all
Yeah.
the girls too. And I love doing it. So just going into the foodie life, that was easy. I enjoyed that more than doing the photos. But now every once in a while I get nostalgic and like taking some photos here and there as well.
Right.
But yes, that actually is probably the most time consuming for turnaround. And it's just because after I've done it so long, I get so busy with things, and because I have
Yeah.
my normal job, I do have a 9 to 5, and then I have my foodie stuff,
Right.
and I like have to edit, and then you have to have you don't want to like wait a long time for a
Right.
restaurant and be like, you want to get it out for them as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So making sure you have that turnaround and are doing a good job with it. And like, I very much care how my stuff looks and what I'm saying. And I want to make everything look great and for the
Right.
restaurant to feel good about what I'm posting.
Yeah.
So I care. So it takes me longer than it probably should.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, like I'm a content creator, Ty and Matt are both here. They're content creators helping
Yeah.
us produce this. And you're almost your biggest critic before it's ever posted,
Yes.
right? Like you just harp on yourself on so many things, which you see come out in your content though, which is good. And you care. And But it is funny, like people think of you as a foodie. Really, you're a part-time video producer more than anything.
Yeah, that's why
Like the filming
content
is
creator.
easy, the editing,
Yeah.
that is where, and the back end, like I've gotten good at it where you can do it quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, it still gets so tedious some days.
Yeah.
How much time would you say goes into the actual, like going to the restaurant, and then how much time do you think you actually end up editing and posting?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what it is
Yeah.
too. Because if I'm going to like a something simple to do than going to like a very long coursed out meal
Yeah.
or something, or going to like an experience. So it kind of depends on that. Obviously, restaurant, you're spending a couple hours there,
Yeah.
and then I always end up talking too much and staying far too late or far too long because I just do. And then
There's
and then
nothing
talking
wrong.
to the
There's
people.
nothing wrong with the yap and a Minnesota goodbye
Right.
when we're going out.
So I mean, obviously for me, the restaurants are always going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But editing my video is probably 30 to an hour per video that I'm doing.
And so that's crazy. You work 9 to 5.
Yeah,
you have
7
to go
to 4, but yeah.
7 to 4.
Yeah.
You go out to all these restaurants and you have to do the video editing, maintain a social life, keep your balance.
Mhm.
So again, that's part of the reason why I partner with DRIPBaR was we're entrepreneurs, we're very busy people, we work a lot during the day. You need that nutrients, you need that energy to go through a full schedule like you do. You'll have to let us know, because the absorption of the vitamins take about 24 to 48 hours. You'll probably feel hydrated within the next 10 to 15 minutes, but you'll have to let us know then after the experience how you were feeling over the next couple of days, if you noticed anything, so we can kind of report back. And then I think something that would be fun was that we should go out and review food together then at some point.
Yeah.
Go do a video, maybe get Ralph, because Ralph has been to the Edina DRIPBaR as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe do some foodie reviews and talk about some of the healthier options.
That'd be fun. I'd love
around
that.
the Twin Cities. And I think we're all excited to kind of see this new page and this new chapter. I too, with events, was like not the right time in the Twin Cities, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's been a time of refocus for people, and we're excited to see kind of what this next journey looks like for you, going down more of health and wellness content and being to share that stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We've all gotten to know you as a foodie and trusted your reviews and being able to guide us around the best foods of the Twin Cities. So
yeah.
We appreciate you coming and sitting in the chair with us today at the iView interview. If you want to leave the people with any sort of advice around getting your balance in health and wellness, something that you've found has been a key to your consistency, and again, where they can follow you and what your account is to make sure that they can follow your journey.
Absolutely. So for me, first off, I would say having to put myself first, like making sure, like I love to say yes. I also would have a lot of FOMO. Like so taking it and being like, you know what, I'm not missing out. I'm having a great time doing this and taking care of myself, which I am. I love it. It makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
So doing that has been a lot how I got organized. But then doing these past 75 days that I've been going through, finding my discipline again has been really important. And for me, it's like I've just been trying to make less excuses and make things happen for me. And then EatMinnesota is where you can follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, Lemonade, I think I'm on Facebook.
When we almost lost TikTok.
Yeah. I'm on there sometimes. I don't know how often I've posted, but I'm there.
Well, it's been awesome getting to know you over these last couple months. Like I said, I think I've noticed just from the last couple months, you look healthier, look better.
Thank you.
And I think it's showing through that you've almost found your why and your choice to take care of yourself before anything else. And I always say, if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't go help others and do what we want to do.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think that's very important to preach the prioritization of ourself in a healthy way, not in a selfish way, of course. So I think that's a great way to end the second IV interview. I want to thank Rachael again for coming on, joining us. This was her first time getting something like this IV. Now, you were a little bit anxious.
Super, actually.
How do you feel now going through the process of coming in here? The DRIPBaR's got an awesome team.
Yes.
Could you take us a little bit about your first time, your first experience?
Absolutely. I came in with a lot of anxiety. I have passed out on IVs before. So for me coming in, I was nervous, definitely, and I have just anxiety in
Right.
general always. But coming in, everyone at first made me feel super comfortable,
Yeah.
and that I was like giggling as things were going and laughing, and I didn't even notice that I mean, I looked away, but I didn't notice it was,
Right.
done. And then all of a sudden, I'm hooked up and going, and I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not scared anymore.
And I think that's kind of the number one deterrent to people coming in is they kind of have that fear of needles. And
Yeah.
so we were talking over the last couple of days. So really cool that you're able to come in here, tough it out with us,
Yeah.
go through the IV interview gauntlet, telling us about being a foodie. So follow her at EatMinnesota. Follow myself at ShayButter34 on Instagram. Go look at her food account if you want to catch new spots in the Twin Cities. Be looking for some new fitness account and possibly a collaboration of eating some healthy food throughout the Twin Cities between the two of us. So that's it for us. That's a wrap. And everyone, stay drippy.